Did you know that hidden marketing mistakes are costing you six-figure commercial contracts? I've worked in construction for 20 years and lost bids I shouldn't have until I fixed 5 mistakes that helped me land a $100,000 job fast and win more high-budget projects after. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 biggest market mistakes killing commercial contractors, how to make sure you don't end up making them, and I'll give you a step-by-step proven system to help you maximize revenue at all costs. To start, I'm going to show you how to stop falling for the biggest lie in the contracting industry. Let me tell you about George, one of my students, who came to me desperate to learn how to get commercial leads on LinkedIn. He was excited to learn about my LinkedIn for Contractors workshop. He signed up right away, ready to implement everything immediately. And after about a week, when I checked in, he hadn't done a thing. He said, "I'm too busy." Sure, he was running Facebook ads for residential jobs. And in the summer, that keeps you slammed. But here's the trap. Once that cold months roll in, those ads stop producing and suddenly you're slow again. Contractors forget that residential work is seasonal, but commercial isn't. Growing the commercial side takes longer, but it compounds. The smart play is balance. Keep your residential busy work, but never neglect the long-term commercial build. To show you how this works, you need to understand how to get handed a $50,000 commercial job, but also get handed more jobs from the same person because they trust you. Instead of renting attention with ads, use LinkedIn to build real relationships and connect directly with decision makers. This is how B2B works. You build long-term relationships based on trust, but every relationship has to start somewhere. So to do it yourself, start looking at your city through a contractor's lens. Office buildings, warehouses, retail centers. These are gold mines. Use LinkedIn's free search to find 10 businesses you want to work with. Send 3 connection requests today with the friendly non-sales message. And here's a simple template to follow to make a connection. "Hi, Robert. I notice your company manages properties or buildings type. I work with businesses in name your big city that need reliable and your trade. Example, this would be painting, lawn care, or HVAC. I'd like to connect and learn more about how you approach projects at your properties." And after you connect, engage with their posts, comment thoughtfully, and follow up with a conversational message. Set a micro goal, 5 intentional connections a day. Track the progress in a simple spreadsheet, their name, company, the role, and the connection date. But remember, just sending connection requests isn't enough because people don't know you well enough to trust you. So next, I'm going to show you the mistake that kills your bids. Mistake number 2. Recently, I connected with Craig on LinkedIn. He was getting 0 visibility on LinkedIn. I instantly found out why. The moment I clicked on his profile, I saw it was practically empty. Just a handful of connections. 0 clarity about what his company actually did. And for most contractors, it's the same story. They want to dominate their local market for commercial jobs, but barely touch LinkedIn, so nobody knows them. Craig needed help, but had no clue where to start. We immediately jumped on a call and built a simple content strategy that positioned him as a trusted contractor. I told him to start posting more because it's a proven fact that the more a person interacts with your content and your profile, the more they will trust you. And once Craig started posting 2 or 3 times per week, within the first 2 weeks, quality connections skyrocketed because of the trust he is gaining. So you can't just send connection requests and expect people to trust you. You need to be posting content too. But what do you post? Since 2022, I've made $1 million by simply posting content to LinkedIn. Most contractors are missing out on thousands because they don't use LinkedIn as a platform to post about their business on. Here are my 3 content pillars for contractors on LinkedIn. The first one is authority. Share 1 lesson from a recent project. Add a photo. Write a short paragraph on how it solved the client's problem. This positions you as an expert, not just another contractor. And number 2 is proof of work. Post before and after photos or short videos. Let people see the transformation you deliver. Visual proof builds instant credibility. And number 3 is problem solving. Tackle customers' pain points directly. Show examples, results, and mini case studies. Make it clear that you know their struggles and can fix them. But this is the mistake most contractors make. They think the engine that drives success on LinkedIn is just sending more connection requests, but it's not. The real engine is consistent content, because when you post in ways that build trust, shows proof of your work, and solves real problems, decision makers start coming to you. Now that you know that, let me show you how to avoid the biggest mistake contractors make, the one that causes them to lose trust with their ideal customers. Mistake number 3. Remember that project I brought up earlier, the $100,000 job? There was something the owner told me in an email that I'll never forget. After awarding me the job, she replied with this: "There's always properties rotating, and I know this project is going to turn out great. I can show my coworkers your work and give you a referral." It's clear that she trusts me. She didn't just give me that size of a project because I had a great looking website or a great smile. Maybe a great smile. But in the end, she trusted me I would deliver great results because of the years I spent building my brand around her company's wants and needs. Contractors can get trapped into thinking that it's what I want my company to do or my personal vision. And sure, that may be part of it, but here's the hard truth. What about what the customer's wants and needs are? Let me show you 5 simple steps on how you can stand out from the other contractors that don't focus on creating a brand that speak to their ideal customers. So step number 1 is identify targets. Pick 10 to 15 buildings, warehouses, or retail centers in your city you like to work with. Step 2 is research them. Check their websites and check both their personal and company pages on LinkedIn. Follow their company pages so you don't miss updates. And step 3 is collect the customer's language. Just take note on how they describe themselves, their services, and their challenges. Write down reoccurring themes like safety, scheduling, cost control, tenant satisfaction. This becomes your customer's language bank. And step number 4 is speed up with AI. And just ask it, what are the top 5 or 10 challenges companies in industry face when it comes to your trade? And here's an example for roofers. Minimizing downtime, keeping projects on budget, working around tenants. And step number 5, apply it. Use this language that you've researched in your LinkedIn About section, your headline, and your posts. Show you understand what matters most to them. Too many contractors build around their own vision instead of focusing on what the customers actually want. If you want referrals and repeat business, your brand has to speak to your client's language, not yours. Now that you understand your ideal clients, let me show you the 4th marketing mistakes that's costing you multi-million-dollar projects. Have you ever shaken someone's hand and instantly thought, what was that? It felt like a cold, limp, dead fish. Sometimes you just want to grab their hand and say, come on, show some strength. First impressions on LinkedIn are critical for commercial contractors. When someone sees your content or gets a notification that you're trying to connect with them, is to check out your profile and specifically read your About section that explains who you are and what services you provide. But if it's blank, you're the cold, limp, dead fish, and nobody wants that. Even worse, you probably killed your shot at being considered for any project. I mean, if this is incomplete, how is your work? So your About section needs to be formatted to show that you're a $1 million contractor. This will attract decision makers of large companies. And when you do this, they will feed you project after project. But what do you actually write in your About section? Here's my step-by-step proven method to follow. First one is overview. For X years, I've grown your company name into the major city that you live in, go-to contractor. Then the problem. Property upkeep gets ignored until it's expensive. With your solution, I help decision makers stay ahead, plan maintenance. And then what's different? We adapt to each building's specific needs. Result, better properties, smoother execution, measurable savings. And then a call to action. DM me or book an estimate, then sign it off with your name, title, and company. But this is the mistake most contractors make. They think a blank About section doesn't matter, but it does. The real engine that drives contracts that you win is all about the first impression you give. Because when your profile shows who you are, the problems you solve, and the results you deliver, decision makers trust you before you ever step foot on site. So now you understand why your About section can make or break opportunities. But remember, getting your About section dialed in is only the first step. There's another mistake that, if left untouched, will limit your credibility. Have you ever watched those videos about Japanese craftsmanship? There's one guy who builds bow and arrows with just bamboo, all by hand tools, even bending the wood for the curve. Their credibility is remarkable because they're showing the results for everyone to see. But aren't we craftsmen in our trade? The problem is contractors don't show their credibility on LinkedIn. That can make you look inexperienced or have something that you're trying to hide. But how do you prove your credibility? Well, I can't tell you how many times I've been walking a project down with a customer and they said, "I saw your reviews. That's why I called you." It's such a great feeling. The clearest proof always comes for those who work with you, your reviews. LinkedIn calls them recommendations, and they sit right on your profile for everyone to see. You should be doing everything possible to collect and showcase reviews. Make it a habit to collect and showcase reviews. Go to your past customers and partners on LinkedIn and ask for recommendations. Automate this in your CRM. Send a request as soon as the project wraps up. Screenshot the best Google or Facebook reviews and post them on LinkedIn every week to keep your reputation top of mind. You can also screenshot reviews from Google, Facebook, or other sites and post them weekly on LinkedIn. This still builds credibility and keeps your reputation visible. Prove your results and decision makers will find it easy to trust you, and the more trust you build, the more jobs you win. If you want more ways to build a reputation with people, hit subscribe and leave a like. We'll see you on the next one.